Hi Chocks and Chocolates, I'm between Chocolo Roberto here, but not for video review. This time, well, basically for a sort of relatively popular request or question I keep getting asked really is, how do I maintain or keep slim essentially despite eating all the chocolates I do? Because for those you don't know, I review chocolates. I review about 6 products a week. Generally, I'm not sponsored by anything or anything like that. This isn't sponsored. I have no sponsors whatsoever. Don't make any money from my channel. Basically I thought, well, you know what, I didn't want to mention or talk about how I keep maintaining a sort of balanced weight, or how I've lost weight in the past. Because you've seen from the thumbnails as well, I would have shown I was overweight in the past, so I do know what I'm talking about as far as losing weight is concerned. I have had to lose weight at least 2 or 3 times in my life. A large, when I was young, which is the photos you would have seen, I lost basically 5 stone, which is about 70 pounds, which is about 35 kilograms roughly. And at other points in my life as well, I've lost about 40 pounds at another time, which again is about 20 kilograms roughly. That's not too long ago, just before I started this channel. And I've another times when I've been doing this channel, I've lost a good 20 pounds maybe, so about 10 kilograms again. So at those different stages I've put weight on, I've had to lose them. So I thought, well, why not sort of talk about my experiences, how I manage it myself. Now of course I'm not qualified, I've not no qualified qualifications in nutrition or dietary requirements or anything like this. I'm not a doctor, so obviously if you do have any health issues, or if you're or anything really, don't assume obviously that what I'm going to say has any sort of real backing behind it, qualifications behind what I'm saying, other than my own experience with it. So I would always consult someone who's qualified, a dietitian, a nutritionist, a doctor, especially if you've got any other health conditions that may be affected by what I'm talking about here, diabetes and things like this. I'm not going to labour the points too much here. I did another video, I recorded some this, and I felt like I was going on too long, so I'm going to try and keep it sort of simple really. So obviously, I'm just going to talk about roughly what I believe is required to do it, to maintain weight or lose weight, and the reasons why. So So first of all, I would definitely say is you've got to find out just how many calories your body burns on its own, without any other factors. So just how just maintaining your body day to day, how many calories your body burns. Because you'll notice any advertisement, anything for a dietary product or anything, in a small print somewhere it'll say only as part of a calorie controlled diet. And the gist of it is, the science here is that it's, as I say, I'm not qualified, but I'm quite certain basically your body will burn so many calories a day. In order to lose weight, you need to essentially ingest fewer calories than this amount. And if you ingest more, you'll put weight on. If you ingest the same, you'll maintain this weight. So losing weight is in finding out what this number is and ingesting fewer calories. How you do that is very difficult. Some scales will tell you what it is, but generally, so 2,000 calories for women, 2,500 calories for men. But all men and women are all different shapes and sizes. Some men are 7 feet tall, some men are 5'4". Some women are sort of quite tall and slim. Some women are quite short and curvaceous. So you've got all sorts of different sizes and shapes of people, and clearly they're all going to have different calorie what's the word? The body's going to burn different amounts of calories basically, and you've got different metabolisms, things like this. Just people are just not the same. So this is the difficult part. You need to find what this number out is roughly, but I would roughly say it's a lot less than 2,000, 2,500. I would say it's more 1,500. 1,200 to 1,500, I would say, in order to lose weight. This is just from my own experience. As I say, I would assume that number is not right for you, and you need to find out yourself. And the way you do this is basically just eating less and seeing how much essentially when you start to lose weight, basically, I would say. But I would assume it's a lot less. Than doing that. So find that number out, and you can get some scientific scales that will tell you roughly what it is. You weigh yourself, you've got these metal pads on them, and you put your hands on them like that, and it'll tell you how many calories basically your body needs. And of course, how accurate that is, I don't know, but the gist of it is, it's more accurate than just plucking 2,000 and 2,500 out of the air. So we'll definitely do that, but you need to find that number out. And that's the science, the pure, really the thing that enables you to lose weight is ingesting fewer calories than whatever that number is the gist of it. So you need to sort of make sure you find that number out. Yeah, and that's it. That's it, really. Now, the main complication now is, of course, how do you keep to that? So the next one is, having a decent diet and sticking to it. You got to be consistent. Now, that's the main thing. I think there's loads of diets out there. There's a paleo diet. There's some keto one I've heard about. There's the Atkins diet. There's all other sorts of diet. There's Slimming World, Weight Watchers, all these other companies. But just of it is, it's sticking to something, really. So, and the thing is, what you need to be doing is you need to make sure that what you're ingesting, you need to know how many calories it is. So you've got to be very careful here. You need to know, there's lots of people out there that have a mentality, a mindset where they think, well, I'm making this lasagna or whatever this meal is. I know exactly what's in it. I know it's healthy. I've put the salt and the pepper in myself. I know what salt's in. It's all natural ingredients. I've used eggs from my hens in the garden. All this, that, and the other. But do you know how many calories are in it? Do you know how many calories are in the eggs from your chickens? Do you know how many calories are in the milk from your goats or whatever it is that you've used for the sauce? Odds are you probably don't. And unfortunately, when you're trying to lose weight, the most important part, I can't stress this enough, is knowing how many calories you're eating. Because unfortunately, even the healthiest things have calories. Fruit is quite high in sugar, relatively has calories in it. Eating 20 apples a day, let's say it's 50 calories in an apple. You eat 20 apples, whatever, thinking it's really healthy, but it's 1,000 calories. And unfortunately, if you're a lady, quite a petite lady or whatever, the odds are 1,000 calories is probably nearly all your calories you're allowed for a day before you start putting weight on. I'll say please put a number of a pinch of salt. I'm just sort of saying it there just as an example, but the gist of it is you probably won't be able to eat too much more than that. And then you might have a meal on top of that thinking, oh, well, I'll have a meal and I'll have my lasagna, and that's actually 600 calories. And all of a sudden, without anything else, with just your apples and your slice of lasagna, you've had 1,600 calories. And that's not including all the sugar, in your teas or whatever you might have had, and all these other things. And before you know it, you've had 2,000 calories or whatever. And you're not going to lose. And I know they say 2,000 calories on all these examples, but this is the problem, I think. You're not going to lose weight, I don't think, by eating that much, unless you've got a very high metabolism, or you're very tall, or you're just whatever. So you're doing something that allows your body to just process more calories. So it's really, so you need to find out, you need to note down and find out just what you're eating. You've got to be consistent day in, day out about this, and assume the worst every time. If you're having milk in your teas and coffees, you need to assume that you're having, that's 100 calories a day or whatever, depending on how many you drink, of course. And you've got to not have full cream milk and stuff like this, and also no drinks. Another thing, no calories from drinks either, I would say, because it's just dead calories as far as I'm concerned. You want to be drinking diet drinks, this, that, and the other, I would say. And that's the third thing as well, is brushing aside everything other than calorie counting as far as losing weight is concerned. Now, there's other things like keeping healthy, this, that, and the other. I would recommend having a multivitamin, things like this, to get your nutrition and stuff like that. I would look into sort of those sorts of things, and I would assume, don't think that because you're doing exercise or whatever, that's going to counterbalance some calories you're eating elsewhere. And that's a mistake I think is very easy to make, because it takes a lot of exercise to burn hardly any calories, and also it can be mentally difficult to sort of, or mentally well, basically you can think, well, I should I should reward myself now because I've ran a kilometre, and then you'll have a Mars bar, and unfortunately the calories that you burn by running the kilometre is probably not not the amount of calories that's in that Mars bar. And it's just, and you can sort of start treating yourself or thinking you can eat things that you can't, and you've really got to be harsh on yourself, and you've really got to calorie count, and you can't. You've just got to assume you've got this 1,200 to 1,500 or whatever calories allowance every day, and that's it. It's not affected by anything else. Doesn't matter whether you've ran 10 kilometers or whatever. You stick to that 1,500 calories, and you've just got to stick to it, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? As I say, I think 1,500 is an upper limit as well, by the way. For sure, even for myself, I for myself, I think it's about 1,200 to 1,500 is what I try to eat. Because basically, when I'm having my reviewing chocolate and things, I will have 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday, where I'm reviewing chocolate, and I'll do 6 reviews. But then for the rest of the week, I'll put on a 2 or 3 pounds really during that weekend, because I'll treat myself really, because I'm not trying to lose weight at the moment. But then for the next 5 days, I will make sure I'm basically dieting, and I will lose that for 2 or 3 pounds, hopefully, by sort of sticking to about 1,000 to 1,500 calories. But it won't just disappear. That's the thing. And that's the other thing as well. You've got to be consistent, and you've got to stick at it. Because one thing with diets is it's very easy, I think, to just give up or to be disheartened. Unfortunately, there will be weeks where you just won't lose weight, and you'll be hardly eating anything. But for whatever reason, this is where I've not qualifications in this. I can't explain why this is. But from my own experience, you sometimes just don't lose weight, and it's very disheartening. You've hardly had anything. You've really been good. You've not had you've been someone's birthday and you didn't have the cake for afters. You really were very, very strict on yourself, and you still didn't lose weight. Or maybe even you've put weight on, you put a pound on. Like, what on earth's going on? And you've just got to bear in mind that at the end of the day, garbage in, garbage out. Basically, you've just got to make sure that what you eat, essentially, is still less than that calorie threshold, because at the end of the day, if you don't eat it, your body eventually will find a balance and will lose weight if you're eating less, or just maintain its weight. And you've got to keep that in mind. You can't let anything take away from that. You've just got to keep consistent, because if you're having on one of these diets where basically you're aiming to lose half a pound a month or something, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to lose half a pound a month, so if I just maintain this for 5 years, eventually I'll lose all the weight. But the problem is, it's so little leeway when you're doing those sorts of weight diets. You might just accidentally or on purpose just treat yourself slightly, and you'll put that pound on, or it won't work, and you won't lose that half a pound a month, and then you'll be really disheartened, because you're still not you've not satisfied yourself. You've been eating stuff you don't really like and not much of it, all to lose half a pound a month or half a pound a week or whatever it is. You just barely be keeping above some kind of threshold by just not really having anything satisfying. Why do that? Why do that? So the next thing I'd say is, leading on from that, is maintain a mental balance, really, and by which I mean a healthy mental balance. You've got to you want to be sort of ensuring that you're happy, you're positive, and you've just got to do this in however you want it. And this is where I would also say, don't worry about, as far as losing weight, because you've got to remember, being overweight is being unhealthy. It's unhealthy to be overweight. I mean, like it or not, you've got to love yourself and things. I realise this, but generally being overweight is not a healthy state to be in. It increases your risks of all sorts of things, heart disease, diabetes, all sorts. So, with that in mind, if it takes being unhealthy for a limited amount of time in order to lose weight, then do it. You know what I mean? So if you think, well, I really, 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 really want some Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I've not had any for 5 months. I've been dieting. I've lost 20 pounds, but for some reason it's my birthday, or I've just passed this test. I really want to treat myself. You can still treat yourself. You've got a calorie allowance, don't forget. And this is the thing. This is why I want to instill in you that you've got a calorie allowance every day. So if that calories is just chocolate, then fine. You'll still lose weight. You know what I mean? You will still lose weight, because it's calories that matter. You'll be healthy for that day. It's an unhealthy day, definitely, but you can still lose weight, and that's the difference. That's why exercise and being healthy is over here. Losing weight is over here. It's a different thing completely, and I would really, 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 really emphasize that to you. Now again, as I say, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not qualified. This is just my own opinion from what I've done. So, a nutritionist and dietitian will probably tell you that's a load of nonsense or whatever, and fine. But from my own personal perspective, mental health as well is important. And if you want to treat yourself, you can have that a whole tub of Ben and Jerry's. It's like, I don't know. Let's just assume it's 1,000 calories. I think it might be a bit more really. So, bear that in mind. But if your allowance, if it goes underneath your allowance, the whole tub, you can have that and just that for the day, and then you've had your treat, and it's been really nice and really worth it, and you won't put weight on. Fingers crossed. Anyway, as I say, things can be different for different people. You know what I mean. But from my own experience, and when I've done this, I haven't put weight on. I've treated myself, and I've been very, I felt that's really nice. I've had something really nice and tasty. I'm still, I still don't feel bloated or overweight, and the next day, and I might lose some weight. You know what I mean? I did speak to someone as well who he said he'd lost loads of weight, and he said, I still treated myself to Domino's pizzas and things, but that would be the only thing I'd have for the whole day. So the way he did it was, in this way I did it as well. Actually, we just have something in the evening that we like. So we wouldn't have it in the morning. Stave yourself up. You get hungry and prepare for it. It'd be nice to think, I can't wait for this treat. Because if you have it in the morning, then you can't have anything else for the rest of the day. So if you have it later in the evening or early afternoon, 5-6 o'clock or something, you can treat yourself. That's something really nice, and it kind of fills you for the evening as well. So maintaining that mental balance is very important, I think. I'm saying different things work for different people. Obviously, find something that works for you, then go for it. You know what I mean? But this is the gist of what I would say. This is how I do it, and this is how I'm able to review chocolates and things at the weekends, because I can have my chocolates or whatever. Some of them might put weight on or whatever, but if I was trying to lose weight or trying to maintain weight without putting it on, I would not have anything else. The chocolates would be my meals or whatever, and that's how I would do it basically. But if I was trying to maintain weight, then I wouldn't worry too much at the weekend, and I would diet throughout the rest of the week. Because the gist of it is, if I'm eating loads of chocolate as well as my normal meals, I will put weight on for those 2 days. And if I don't then diet for the rest of the week, then I'll still have those 2 or 3 pounds I put on. Then the next weekend when I eat the chocolates, I'll then put on 2 or 3 pounds more. And over about a month, what's that? That's an extra, almost a stone in the UK, 14 pounds, 7 kilograms or whatever it is. And it builds up over time, slowly builds up, and then before you know it, you've got a lot of weight on. That brings you on to the next thing, which is don't leave it too late. If you've noticed you put weight on, 7 pounds, 3.5 kilograms, whatever it is, you notice your clothes a bit tighter, whatever, then don't wait. Use that moment then to start losing weight. Because if the longer you leave it, the more you put on, the harder it is to lose it, the more disheartening it is. You want to keep on top of it. You want to maintain a decent weight. You don't want to be putting on. So you've got to constantly be weighing yourself, checking your weight, making sure you're not putting it on. When you're younger, of course, it's a lot easier. Your metabolism's a lot better when you're, I don't know what better is, more efficient, whatever. It's just, you have a better one, whatever. You burn more calories to do nothing really. And I did find out when I lost my weight when I was younger. I basically, I didn't have to do as much as I do now to lose weight. I've really got to be careful now. Now I'm older. I just will put weight on a lot easier, unfortunately. So it's a lot, you just got to maintain it. So there you go. So it's been, you could be, you might be overweight and you might be really happy, and in that case, great. You know what I mean? But I would say, obviously, for most people, or at least on average, being overweight is unhealthy. It does increase your risks of certain health conditions. You have to bear that in mind. So if you're trying to lose weight, this is who I'm talking to, really. People who want to lose weight or maintain their weight. This is how I do it. And it's not easy. Some people are very lucky and can do it very easily. But for me, it is quite difficult, really. And I do have to work very hard at it. So there we go. And it can be actually, it can... to make sure I can still do these reviews, it does mean I have to sacrifice sometimes enjoying meals and things, because I have to make sure that I can eat it, I can do the reviews at the weekend, and then during the week not have much. You know what I mean? And if I do have a treat in the week because it's I'm seeing a friend or something to have a meal, I've got to then cater for that, and then bear it in mind for my calorie intake in the future. So that's the gist of it, really. So hopefully those, so I think, I don't want to go on too much. I think I've gone on quite a lot already, but hopefully those points, I'll probably put a list or something there, hopefully I've not forgotten anything. So the gist of it is, it's find your calories, stick to it, be consistent, maintain a positive attitude, keep other things that we normally have ingrained into you, really, that are also necessary to lose weight, such as exercise and healthy food. Keep them completely separate, and just concentrate solely on sticking to that X amount of calories every day, and just be consistent. And if you need to treat yourself, then you can still do it. You can still have X amount of calories purely in, I don't know, cream or whatever, just drinking full fat cream. But obviously that's not healthy in the long run. But you can technically do it. So if you want to have your ice cream or half a pizza or something, you can still treat yourself, and it's important to do that still. But you can't, you can't have your cake and eat it, basically. You know what I mean? You've got to sort of, you have to know that if you are eating too many calories or whatever, you're not going to lose weight. So you've got to be very careful with it, really. And as I say, and I would also say, I think what I'm overboard, but may or may not have been, ensure that you don't, try and avoid ingesting calories, food, drinks, and if say people talk about Pepsi Max and stuff about being unhealthy and things, but at the end of the day, as I say, being overweight is unhealthy. Just ignore the health, what you know as being healthy, and all this, that, and the other. Just concentrate solely on calories. So just drink, a diet drink, Pepsi Max, Diet Coke, whatever it is, water, and if there are no calories in it, just drink it. You know what I mean? And don't, you just understand that if you want to just drink water, then do that. Obviously, if you think Pepsi Max or whatever is evil, or Diet Coke is evil, then just drink water. But if drinking Pepsi Max is the way you can do it for yourself, because it's got no calories in, you like Pepsi Max, you don't like water, you don't like Diet Coke, you don't like tea or coffee, then do it. You know what I mean? It's you need to lose weight to be healthy, and I think that trumps being drinking Diet Coke and Pepsi Max, so there you go. Right, well, hopefully that's helped some people, and at least give an insight into how I do it. And as I say, don't worry if you don't agree with it, that's fine. If you've got something that works for you, that's fine. But I would just say it's calories, and just concentrate on the calories, and don't worry about anything else. So there we go. So it might be controversial, this, I don't know, people might not like it, as I say, and also, as I will emphasise, if you are, you've got to consult a nutritionist or a dietitian or a doctor or whatever. I'm no expert on this, I have no qualifications on any of this. As I said at the start, it's just from my own experience, so bear that in mind as well. As I say, you might not agree with it, you might have different experiences, or things might have worked for you, in which case, please feel free to share them in the comments. Everyone's different, but the gist of it is, the calorie intake is what matters, but how you go about restricting that or ensuring that you only have so much every day can vary massively, and other ways might work for you. But as far as I'm concerned, as I say, just knowing exactly what you're ingesting is really important, definitely. Okay, well, take care, guys, and if you are losing weight, best of luck. It's really difficult, it's not easy, it's really hard, because you've got to do it for a long time. And I think, unfortunately, there's generally no real way of making it a pleasurable experience, basically. And I think that's just the gist of it. And and I would try to avoid, well, unless you're very lucky, maybe you can make it a pleasurable experience. But I would try to avoid ensuring that it is one, because unfortunately that's where I would say the road to failure lies, because it's just not a pleasurable experience. And if you're making it one, then the odds are it's probably at a detriment to actually losing weight. But there we go. But I could be wrong, as I say, it depends how you're doing it. But from my experience, I would say it's never an easy thing. That's one of the other things I would have said. Just stick at it, be consistent. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before or I've gone over it, but just be consistent and stick at it, and you will get there eventually. You've just got to keep at it. You really have. Not easy, as I say, but if you stick at it for a long time, you will get there. Okay, well, take care, guys, and best of luck. See you soon. Bye for now. See ya.